BlackRock, Vanguard, DTCC, institutions that manage over 100 trillions in the market actually are all talking for tokenization. So one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, what coins do you think will benefit the most from it? And think about it. Imagine you're walking to a bookstore and you have 2 million books, but you know that one of them will make you rich. But there's no title, no review, so that's where the crypto side is today. You already have a ton of coins, but you don't know how to navigate and find the right one. So in this video, I'm going to cover exactly what coins will benefit the most from tokenization, the mistakes people make, and my thesis about it. So before we get started, for everyone new, I'm CryptoGit, been over 9 years in this space. In March 2020, during the biggest crash in virus, I told everyone to buy all the coins, did like crazy numbers that I shared. I also predicted the top of the bull run later on in that cycle, and you can verify all the proofs. So let's get back to the video. I'm sure you've heard how everyone talks about tokenization, about coins like Ondo, Kanto network. I get asked all the time, will they be big? What they're gonna happen with them? I'm bullish, etc. So the biggest mistakes that most people make is three, and I'm gonna cover each one by one, so listen to me carefully. The first thing that I hear all the time is one coin will pump and that's the only way to make money. That's what everyone thinks. Everyone is thinking like tokenization is about one coin that will go 1000x or 100x or more than that, and that's how we get rich. So they're constantly finding that coin. They're constantly research. Now, the mistake that I think people make is they don't get what tokenization is. So tokenization is a sector that is so huge and is the biggest currently in the world. Most crypto people have been used to sectors like NFTs or gaming that the market share was so small. But imagine DTCC, which controls the issuance of stocks, that has over 100 trillion in management, they're talking for tokenization. Like, it's over 100 trillion market. It's not like gaming or NFTs. Why I show you this? The reason why I show you this is I'm going to go to my thesis. The first thing is, I'm going to cover a little bit later this. I believe on the coexistence of multiple projects. So everyone is thinking one coin and that's how we get rich. No, I believe tokenization is going to be, because it's a sector, it's a narrative, it's going to be, let's say, like banks in US. In US, you got the major bank, Bank of America, JP Morgan, etc. Then you got also other banks, but it's not one bank taking all the market share and they're winning and they're taking all the clients, all the people. No. You got over 100 banks in US. In Europe, it's the same. So same way you gotta operate on tokenization. It's not like Ondo will win, others will fail. Of course, one of those will pump higher than some others. There will be always differences like that, but it's not that one coin will take all the market share. Now, the thesis next that I have on the first mistake is that everyone is focused, as I said, in one coin. I'm bullish on the adoption that will come with tokenization. And this is not something that I see not many people talking about. Everyone is trying to focus on one coin. First, I think there will be multiple and they'll coexist. And second, I believe the biggest pumps will not pump from actually one coin. Like let's say you buy Ondo. It will come from the influx of people or the adoption that tokenization will bring. So I'm bullish on the adoption that tokenization will bring. This is what I'm most bullish on, because imagine, let's say, a 70-year-old who only holds bond and maybe some S&P 500, like major indices, not even stocks, right? So major indexes. So what happens when those guys in one platform, they will make it so easy so then they can interact with stable coins and crypto. Imagine having in one wallet Ondo, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and your bond. Imagine how easy it is, of course, after Clarity Act, where there are also clear rules for the average person or people that has nothing to do with crypto or they don't care about crypto to join. Like, I made also a video before, but I think pension funds on US are over 50 trillion. Like, imagine if a small capital goes to crypto. For fun, just so you can create a better idea, institutional money that entered from 2024 till 125k, the peak, local peak, let's call it like that, was around, I think, $150 billion. So 57 billion was from ETFs And I'll calculate for Michael Saylor and companies that they bought Bitcoin, it's gonna be like, let's say 150 billion. Imagine if a small percentage of sovereign wealth funds, pension funds worldwide just enter to crypto. It's gonna be crazy. So I believe with tokenization coming after Clarity Act, I'm bullish on the adoption that will come, not just about a particular coin, and I'm bullish on how many people will join from this narrative. And as I said, they will coexist together. It's not about one coin. So the second thing is, most people think like best tech means best price performance. And I'm going to go a little bit more in depth here because I have a lot of to share. So the majority of people think like this, and they've been messaging me, why Ondo is not going up? They message me all the time because Ondo is one of the key coins on tokenization with Kanto Network, Chainlink, and some other stuff. They'd be like, Ondo is great, they got the biggest partnerships and still is down from 2024. It was 2 is 0.3. How on earth you got institutions that manage billions and trillions talking about this coin and you don't go up? This is what most people don't get. Everyone thinks in crypto that by finding the right coin with the right tech, the right partners, the right fundamentals, you'll win. It's not true. And that's how a lot of people in stocks or business world come in crypto and fail, because they think like crypto is stocks. Crypto is not stocks. Crypto is what makes a coin go up is much more different than what makes a stock go up. So on stocks, you go and research the basic stuff, fundamentals, what's going on with the project, who is the founder, their vision, etc., etc. In crypto, you can find the best thing, like for example Ondo, or either other stuff like Ethereum, which got crazy institutional backing and is down after 5 years. How you can explain that? The reason why is because crypto moves in a different way, especially coins. Coins, first of all, moved from Ethereum going up. The majority of coins are tied to Ethereum performance. Like, I believe one of the key issues with this market was Ethereum underperformance. I heard no one here and here talked about how bad altcoins are. Every time it comes here down at the bottom, meaning that the majority of problems on the crypto space hasn't been just because altcoins are bad, and there are a lot. I get that. Of course, it's not a good thing to have millions of altcoins. Of course, it's bad. But I believe something that is completely underrated and people don't talk is ETH underperformance. So let's get back to the video. Now, a lot of people might ask why ETH. ETH is the major, it's like the index. Bitcoin is the index for crypto, ETH is the index for altcoin. And also, if I go a bit more technical, which I don't want to, because the topic of this video is something different, is like this. If you go on exchanges, the majority of liquidity pools are like this. Link, BTC, I'm taking Link, and Link, then comes stable coins. It's like this. Right, so it's Bitcoin first, Ethereum, then I wanted to do here stable coins. So what matters? If Bitcoin and ETH goes up, it drags up the liquidity pool on Link. That's how the Uniswap formula works, but I'm not gonna go in depth on this. So let's go back to best tech means best price performance that people say. And I'm gonna explain with two clear examples. Let's go right now with an example that everyone knows about, Crypto.com. I'm quite sure you know that. The coin Kronos of Crypto.com is probably the most well-known, the most talked, it's always everywhere. Here, let me go to Kronos. It's always everywhere. I've seen it on airports, I've seen it in soccer games, FIFA, tennis, F1 sports. Like, it's crazy. I even asked, for example, the AI, how much money Crypto.com spends a year on marketing. It's crazy. They spend over $700 million. It's literally crazy. But let's call the baseline of sponsorship spent $200 million a year. So they got the best exchange behind them. They spent $200 million in marketing, and yet the price is down. Why? You see how different crypto is, because people think like, here's what people think. And I think I got a tweet about this. I tweeted a few days ago just to let you know. People think like use case, utility, plus best marketing, plus having capital means the coin will go up. Look at Kronos. It's all out there, crazy marketing all over the place, nothing pumps. Polkadot is a clear example too, and I put it here. In 2023, I think they spent like 40 million here, 37 million in 2024. And you know what happened with Polkadot at that time? Nothing. AI and meme coins made more noise. Imagine, they spent $40 million and no one cared. So you might ask why that happens. Because crypto moves in a different way, and I'm going to explain why. Everything that you research, like fundamentals, founder, tokenomics, everything matters. I'm not saying those are stupid, but what makes the most sense is the community behind the coin. Now, if you go, for example, and research Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, they all have maxes, which I mean people that love those coins, people that are constantly promoting their bags, people that are always loving what they're doing. It's not that they get paid, it's they just made money on those narratives and now they're a fan. So if you make money from, let's say, crypto.com, you make 100x, of course you're gonna love crypto.com and you're gonna talk all about it. The reason why you don't is because you still believe it right now, but you don't care because you haven't seen any gains. If you had, you'd be all over the place. So the best marketing is the price going up and having a strong community, because having a strong community meaning that you don't need to spend like Polkadot spend 40 million in marketing, because marketing is just stupid. You pay one guy to promote your product for, let's say, 1 week, 1 month, or whatever the deal is, and then it's over. But the guy that loves a coin and you make them money is constantly there to support and promote you. So a coin to go up is much different than a stock to go up. So you have to build something that people love, that people care, that you incentivize people to use, that you incentivize people to hold. You have a charismatic founder. The founder is something that he got money, he's wealthy, like you know that he is not there to build because he want to extract from you. Like it's much more complex than stocks. And this is why, for example, people come and see the tokenization coins and they be like, how can BlackRock, how can Vanguard, how can they cooperate with all the banks worldwide and they don't go up? It's because what I told you, you don't have a community, and just because they have the best tech doesn't mean they have the best price performance. That's the thing. And if Ondo goes up 100x, you'll see how the community will form. So the best marketing is not partnership. The best marketing is not them having BlackRock behind. The best marketing is them going up and making the community wealthy. I'm quite sure that even if BlackRock launches a coin today, you'll not make any money. You know why? Because institutions care for themselves. And this comes back to my third point, which I'm going to cover also to the thesis. So everyone, this is such an important thing, everyone nowadays thinks like tokenization is going to be huge, and I totally agree. I'm with that. I believe it's going to be huge. Now, the thing that people don't get is that when was the time when everyone knew something is going to be huge and they made money? When? Probably like a few weeks ago, SpaceX IPO. Why I'm going to show you this? I'm going to show you this because SpaceX IPO is a clear example of how everyone that knows something is going to be big doesn't mean you'll make money. Ask yourself, how many people joined on SpaceX IPO? How many people? Not much. Look at the chart today. It's stupid, right? So why I bring you this example? Because things that are obvious and all the crowds talked about are something that it's not that easy that you're going to make wealth. You're going to make wealth always on things that are mispriced. People don't know much about them. People don't talk much about them. And a lot of people don't believe on them. Think about Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana on the early days. Did people that were in Bitcoin in 2015 believed on it? No. Did the majority of people that were in Ethereum at this stage here believed on Ethereum in 2016 here? No. They hated it. Did people that were, let's say, I don't know, in Solana in 2020 when it was only going down here at this stage, did they believe on it? No. So even for tokenization, what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to prove is that it's not gonna be the sector that, in my opinion, you're gonna make the most wealth. Because what people don't get is that the majority of those coins are already captured by VCs. See, for example, what happened with SpaceX IPO. Even a kid knew that they would make money on SpaceX IPO because it's Elon Musk behind. But you couldn't join. It wasn't for retail. It was for those guys, for institutions. So To join and to invest on SpaceX IPO, you needed to be a accredited investor, you needed to have connection, you needed to be a VC, an institution, and even if you found the connection to be an investor, you would invest at least 100K minimum. So for the retail, they made zero money. So they knew SpaceX would be big, but did they get rich? No. Who got rich? Institutions. So the same kind of narrative I think will happen with tokenization. A lot of people are so hyped up, but I believe there will be a lot of disappointed because they're gonna see random coins going and they're gonna think like how like Ondo or Canton or Quant or some other coins are being used from banks and they don't go up. It's because what they don't get. Those three things that they don't get that I'm proving you right now. With facts, go and look SpaceX IPO. And let me tell you something. I'm just gonna go with, let's say, Ondo. Because everyone loves this coin. Don't get me wrong, I'm not investing in this thing. I'm not an investor. I'm not a hater. I'm not saying it can go up or it can go up. I'm just sharing my pure opinion on it. So don't take this like buy or don't buy signal. I'm being clear with you. I don't tell people to buy any kind of coin. I tell people what I do and what my knowledge is, and that's it. So everyone loves Ondo, but go and see the money that they raised. They raised $34 million. Where do you think this money came from? It's VCs. It's people that control already Ondo, meaning that they already are early on Ondo, meaning that they already are going to be so much up. If Ondo goes up, they will probably take all the market share from you. So it's not that you can't make money on Ondo. It's not that Ondo can't go up, but it's a person going through a marathon and having 5 bags in his shoulder compared to someone that got no bags. Who do you think runs faster? Of course, the person with no bags. So what I'm telling is not like a black or white that, oh, this has VCs, don't join. Of course, this can succeed. There are projects that succeed with VCs too, but the percentage is much smaller compared to coin that they don't raise money, because those guys are loyal and are someone that are controlled by those guys. So institutions control Ondo. You think like Ondo controls things? No, if you give money to someone, to a project, you control that project because you demand stuff. If Ondo doesn't want something to do, but those guys that raise money want, they can do whatever they want. One other project that I hear everyone is talking is Canton Network, and they have the rails between tokenization. It's so huge what they're doing. Go and look how much they raised, $135 million. Go and see their tokenomics. So the reason why I tell you this is because those coins are already captured by institutions. Like, you're not early on. The people think like, oh, I'm super early. No, you're not. If there are VCs that put $100 million, banks, institution, VCs, you're not early. And what you have to realize is that it's not that they can go up. It's about the example that I told you. Like, you're in a race. You have 5 bags in your shoulders and one guy got no bags. Who do you think can run faster? Of course, the guy with no bags. So this is the issue. It's so hard to get rich on things that are obvious and everyone is talking about. And if you analyze the market from their overview, you can understand that it makes sense too. So for example, let's say tokenization is a 100 trillion market, right? More than that. Let's say you're gonna build a coin that controls all the rails between, let's say, bonds to banks. You do all the connection that you put everything on chain. Let's say like Canton Network is doing, right? So, or Ondo. So here is you. Now, do you really think, here's my overview, do you really think that you can literally build something that huge that will hold a really big marketplace in tokenization, and institutions that control banks, market makers, funds, they're gonna allow you to jump in front of them? Like, really? You think they're dumb? You think they're gonna allow you? Of course not. So by you trying to build this thing, you'll never succeed. And if you try to succeed, they will bribe you with money. Not bribe, they will invest in your company, so they will control it. They will take the market share. So who control Canton Network today? It's not the founders. The founders are just the people that plays the roles there. It's the money that they got behind, because if you don't have money and you go through the VC money, it means that you're giving the power to those people. So that's the whole idea, that you have to realize how this game is being played. And it also makes sense if you think about in terms of institutions. So for example, if you're an Ondo and you want to build like the next Ondo, like, do you really think like institutions that control all trillions are going to allow you to hold the supply, or they want to hold it for themselves? So once you join, you're going to make a little money, or you're too late. Like, how many examples you got in the past that a lot of coins from VCs, they just didn't pump at all, or they just had minimal pumps, because it's about how much they make. Like, imagine if Canton does a 10x from here, they have 1.3 billion. Like, do you really think they will leave it there? Or if Canton goes 30x, they will have like what, crazy numbers. So that's how you have to think. Those guys control those coins. And again, I'm being clear with you. I'm not saying they can't go up. Of course they can. I'm just sharing something that a lot of people don't calculate. They just think black or white. They just go to tokenization. What are the biggest coins? I want to buy the top 5, and that's how I win. You can make money. But I'm sharing that the biggest money, in my own opinion, will be in the adoption that will come, and how much money is going to enter in this space. It's not about a particular coin on this thing. Never in history of markets, something that was so obvious and everyone knew made people wealthy. Did Bitcoin make people wealthy in 2015 in mass? No. It just a small percentage that discovered Bitcoin. Did a lot of people make money in Ethereum in the early days? No, because it wasn't market and everyone hated and didn't believe. Did people make a lot of money on SpaceX IPO? Even a kid knew it would be big? No, because it wasn't allowed. Could you make money on Anthropic or OpenAI IPO? No, because you can't join to those today. So here's my point. Tokenization is going to be huge. It's going to be so huge that it will enter crypto to a really bullish, crazy phase. But I don't believe it's going to be about those coins that everyone talking. I believe it's going to be about other coins that doesn't have to do anything at all with just tokenization, but just they make the path for the money to enter easier. So for example, think like you're a 70-year-old. Like, do you think a 70-year-old cares like what is the rail for Ondo and all this? I mean, they love it, but they like it. But if you bring something that is much easier, much easier for them to understand, they like it, they love it, you give them an incentive why to use it, they're gonna buy that thing. So that's my process of thinking. I hope you enjoyed, and I try to share something that is completely different from everyone's perspective. And don't forget to subscribe, more videos are coming.